All right, Inspired Beauty, happy Monday, guys. This has been such an incredible month of other people taking the microphone. Number one, giving me a chance to be a student. I think sometimes it's really helpful when you step into leadership roles to find ways to be a student again. And so this month has been helpful, hopefully for you guys to hear from all these different coaches in the network. But it's also been really helpful for me to just hear from other fresh voices too and light a fire in my belly. Tonight, you guys, we get to hear from my dear friend, Kim Meyer. Kim is part of my sister team. And she actually she's not even, it's just this business is so crazy because she's not even like the downline of, the team. She's like within the team. But anyway, she is a mom. I'm laughing because she had a typo earlier. Thing. She's a mom, not a man. Just making sure I got that right. She's a mom from Iowa, you guys. She's a former college athlete, school administrator, teacher in the classroom. But the coolest thing is she's no longer in the classroom. She was full-time in the education field. Now she's full-time educating others in self-care, health, wellness. She signed up in 2015 in February, but she didn't start taking action until August. So for those of you who signed up on your day one and maybe you didn't hit the ground running the way you thought, Kim here tonight is a 2-time elite coach. You guys, that's a big deal. If you don't know what an elite coach is and you've been to Summit before, those are those people that are sitting on the floor at those fancy tables. It's a pretty stinking big deal, and she is a part of that crew. She's the founder of Team Rise and Fit. And honestly, Kim, I just want you to take it away. I want you to share all about yourself and tell us tonight about what it freaking takes.
All right. Yeah. So I was voice memoing Britt earlier and was like, I'm a mom from Iowa. And then it went back and looked and it was like, I'm a man from Omaha. I was like, what the heck? So yeah, voice memoing doesn't always work. But I'm Kim Meyer. I'm like she said, a 2-time elite coach here in Iowa. I've been all the way up through the ranks of education and decided a couple of years ago that I was just not being filled up there in a lot of service jobs. As many of you all know, maybe you're educators too, like Britt's been, but you work to serve others and give and give and give, and your cup isn't always filled back up. And when I found this back in 2015, I was like, okay, yeah, this is something I can get behind. And then it just gradually started working towards, I didn't at the start, I didn't start obviously to leave my job. I really liked what I did at the time as a curriculum director and a technology director and all of the things, and a mom, and a wife, and all the million hats we wear. But when it really came down to it, I had to figure out what is it that I really want out of my life? I had to really figure out what does my ideal life look like? And so I kind of want to start there. I don't really like to talk about accolades and all the things because we're all human, we're all people, we all have the same leg up in this business. It's all about who you want to be and what you want to achieve, and nobody gets to tell you that you can't go for it, because you are your own CEO and you're your own boss, and you get to decide if you're going to give yourself a raise. You get to decide what position you want in this business. You get to decide where you're going to go. She kind of talked about my lineage a little bit. I was on a dead leg of a dead leg. So I built my business by myself. I have a great mentor, and maybe you've heard of her already, Julianne Candia. I'm levels deep from Julianne, and Julianne has taken me under her wing and helped me grow, and we've become just kind of partners in this as well. And then from there, it's a couple layers deep, up to Trina Gray, and again, amazing leader in this business. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for other coaches pouring into me. And so every opportunity that I get, I try to just give back, and little nuggets and tidbits of things that I've learned along the way. And especially with personal development and all the things, just letting you all know that you can be the inside of an inside leg and get no help from anybody else in your organization and still make yourself successful in this, whatever level of success that you want, whether that's elite or that's getting your products paid for or whatever that might be, you have a choice in that. So the first thing I want to talk about, we're going to kind of get into like what it takes to get to that point of what do you want it to be. First, you have to decide, what is that? Like, what is your ideal lifestyle look like? Are you currently in the place where you don't want to be? Are you wanting to get someplace, but you're just not sure how to get there? Have you had something happen recently where you're just like, I'm done with this, I need to do something else? What does your ideal look like? What does your ideal lifestyle look like? And then you have to think to yourself, like, okay, this is where I want to be, but all of these things keep happening and that kind of derail me or keep me from getting to this goal. You have to really figure out, like, are these inconveniences worth this? Is getting on a team call at 6 o'clock at night worth putting the time and effort into to create this lifestyle that I want? Is, getting this, being on this team call and then running my son to basketball practice and then running back for my own team call worth it in the night? Absolutely it is, because I've seen what's on the other side of that wall. I've seen what's on the other side of that fence, and I know that I want to get there. I also have a belief system of, I know where I want to go, and if I believe in myself and I believe in this process because it works, I've watched other people do it, and if she can do it, I can do it. And so knowing that if I want to have that lifestyle, if I want to get paid what I feel like I'm worth, if I want to, go through all the steps to get to the goals that I want to get to, I know that I can do that. And so you first have to decide what it is that you want, and then decide if all of the inconveniences of life, or all of the things that keep happening, or these vital behaviors that we talk about all the time, or, showing up for yourself, are those things worth it? Or is it worth it skipping 30 minutes of TV a night to make sure that you are getting your workout in? Is it worth sacrificing the 20 minutes of sleep, or, whatever it might be for MM100? Or is it worth, skipping the Starbucks line in order to have your Shaco? Like, what is it that you're giving up, or what's inconvenience for you? And I use air quotes on purpose because they're really not inconveniences if you're really wanting what you say you want at the end. Okay. So the second thing is kind of thinking, this scenario was kind of thrown at me earlier this week on a team call. And so it was just so stuck. And I was like, hey, this really fits in with what I was going to talk about. So you get to decide, like I said earlier, you get to decide where you end up in this business, regardless of where you're placed, regardless of who your upline is, but Britt's pretty amazing, I must just say. But regardless of where you are in the business, you get to decide where you're going to be. Just like if we talked about like different levels of a business, right? There's like an assistant role, and then there's a manager role, and then there's a CEO role, right? Like if you think of like a traditional business kind of thing. We got to think about this business as like, if you are, working with customers, if you're sharing Shakeology recipes, if you're, assisting someone in helping get better fitness, better nutrition, that's kind of like your challenger role. And that's kind of where you're going to be. You're going to be kind of in that assistant role, right? And assistants usually get paid a certain amount of money. And they are kind of this, in our situation, assistants would be very, commission based, and they would be very just kind of like, this is kind of the bottom rung. I'm an assistant. I'm helping other people get healthy, right? So assistant role is here. The next kind of level up would be like more of a manager role. So like if you've ever been in another like business, any sort of job, you might have a manager that manages you if you were the assistant or an employee. But a manager is kind of that kind of diamond level coach where they're motivating other people to do more with things. They're now helping other people build other things. Okay. They're just doing more. They're growing themselves too. They're growing a larger business or a larger organization. So they're kind of in that manager role. And they're starting to get some bonuses. They're starting to really kind of have some residual income. That pay goes up a little bit more. So you go from assistant of just helping people with commissions and things and getting healthy and fit, to now more of a manager role where you're building a team and you're managing a team. Is kind of a bad scenario for this, but like, because we're our own CEOs, but you get to help other people build their businesses. And then you take it to like the next level, which is like, I'm a boss, I'm a CEO of my own business. And a lot of people get stuck at that manager role of like, okay, I've leveled up myself a little bit. I have this team around me. I've got a couple people that are running with me. I've gotten myself to diamond. I'm kind of here. I'm settled. I'm okay. But to really go for the really big things that you want in your life, like if you want to leave that full-time job, if you want to be an elite coach, if you want to, pay off the debt, whatever your goals are, I don't know what they are, but if they are big and audacious and you're really going after something big, you have to level yourself up to be the boss CEO of your business and treat it as such. And so this is kind of where you get into like 2-star diamond, where you're really taking on some like risks in your business, where you're really putting yourself out there and doing, forgetting about the inconveniences that we talked about before and really making them a non-negotiable in your life. So it's a non-negotiable for me to post on social media every single day. It is a non-negotiable for me to be working out every single day. It's a non-negotiable for me to be drinking my shake every single day and talking about the products and helping my team and supporting them. In fact, like I even forget sometimes what the 4 vital behaviors are because they're just so rote memory for me now that they just happen. So like sometimes like I drink my shake and I'm like, didn't talk about that on social media because I just drink it, right? But it's one of those things of just getting to the point where the inconveniences aren't inconveniences anymore because you have a dream, you have a vision, and you're going someplace with it. A CEO shows up hard because based on that action that you take every single day is how you're going to get to the goal that you want to get to. So if you're wanting those big things, inviting 1 day a week isn't going to get you a challenge group filled up with clients or coaches. Inviting 2 days a week isn't even going to do that. You have to invite every single day, just like you'd have to do a workout every single day to see results, physical results, right? So showing up hard, even when it's hard, even when things are going on. I committed to this Zoom probably a month or so ago, knowing that I wouldn't have basketball practice. And then, hey, things got changed up. And I was like, Britt, this is what's going on. I'm committed here. I'm committed here. I'm going to make it all work because that's just how I function. However, just keeping the lines of communication open and just knowing that things are going to happen the way they're going to happen and life will be fine. My son also knows that it gets to be 6:45 and I'm not or 6:50-ish, I'm not done with this. He's just going to walk to the elementary by himself and life will be okay. So we're all good, right? There's always a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And if A, B, and C don't work, as a boss CEO, you keep going down the letters until you figure something out. It hasn't always been easy getting to, yes, everything is figure outable. I love that book. We, last year coming to the end of the year with Elite, it was even like the day of the 31st, like it didn't look like it was going to happen. In fact, just to take you through the timeline of the 31st, December 31st of 2018, about 9 a.m., I sat here in my office and cried because I just looking at the numbers, it just didn't make sense. It wasn't going to happen. And then about 10:30 in the morning, I got on a call with 2 other elite coaches, good friends of mine that I met at leadership and throughout the network. And one of them is very good strategic and planning and just is really good at seeing like that 30,000 foot view. And she goes, oh, well, you just need this, this, and this. Let's come up with a plan for that. And so I was like, life breathed into me. I can accomplish, it looked like this huge mountain, but she broke it down into small pieces and then it was much more doable. And I just went and got to work. So I literally sat in my office from 10:30 in the morning until 11:30 at night, cranked it out. And I was working with my team. I was working with my new coaches. I was bringing on new customers myself and just messaging my face off. And we made it happen. Right? Like it happened. We hit all of our points that night and it just, it worked out because it was a power, like, yes, Britt, power of leaning into other people. It was a power of, believing that it was possible. All the year we've been talking about, we're elite again, we're elite again, we're elite again. And it just took that final push. It took not giving up, not ever giving up on it and just keep pushing through. And I was going to sit here until the stroke of midnight if it had to make sure it happened. But thankfully, 11:30, we counted them all up. I was even in contact with my corporate reps. Like, I think this is where I need to be. Am I here? And they're like, yes, it's December 31st. Like everyone's out partying and whatever. And I had to inconveniently not go to a friend gathering that night. My kids wanted to go there. They would been invited. They knew we were going to go. It's their best friend's house. Ironically, my children have the same family best friend. So like the son and my son and their daughter and my daughter are best friends. And so they knew we were going to go there, but it just didn't happen. I said, you guys can go without me, but I have to stay here and get this done. And they were like, oh, we won't go. Well, then the next morning when they woke up, like, Mom, did you hit your goal? And I got to say yes. And they were so excited. And so it just was so fun to be able to do that. But it wouldn't have happened if I would have said, the heck with it. It's just not going to happen this year, and went to that party. And then I would have been regretful and been like, oh, right. So, believing in yourself and moving out of that assistant role, getting into that manager role, and then really taking on that boss CEO mindset. And when you're in that, you don't worry about what other people think. Like, I could have really got caught up in my head that night of like, I'm just going to send these massive amount of messages. Even like this last month has been kind of wonky. I've sent out, I would say, probably close to 1,000 messages on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and all the things, and just not worrying what other people think, because if I do, then you're going to get caught up in all the negativity, and their business is not your business. So their thoughts and processes are nothing to do with you unless they're willing to join you. So forget them and just keep moving forward with the people that are wanting to work with you. And then you also own where you are as a CEO, and you kind of, you're working to out amaze yourself. The phrase that she used earlier. And it was like wanting to work in a point where you're trying to up level yourself to get to the next position and the next position, just so that you're not that you're like trying to climb a ladder, but that you're trying to improve yourself every day. Because the more we stay in our comfort zone, the more you're going to just continue to slide back down the mountain. And when you can keep pushing yourself and keep growing yourself, you'll be able to get to your goals a heck of a lot faster. And then the other thing is that the really cool thing about this business is that there's no ceiling, there's no cap, there's no rank stopping. There's no, only 200 coaches get the bonus. There's no, only 100 people get to be Star Diamond. Nope. Anybody and everybody gets to achieve these ranks and these levels and achieve these bonuses, and everybody gets the opportunity to go for it and do what they want. They don't just say only so many people get to go here. Why not you? Go get it yourself and go for it. And that's the other cool thing about being, thinking about that in like typical jobs, assistant manager, CEO, like there's only one CEO of a business. In this, there are 350,000 CEOs in this business, and we all get to decide what level we're going to play at, whether we want to be assistant, we want to be manager, or we want to be CEO. And so I think about those kinds of things, like what does it take to be a CEO? Number one, I got 5 things written down here. I tried to come up with just 5, like the top 5 things it takes for to get to where you want to be. But the number one thing that you absolutely need is belief. 1000% belief in your ability to change your life. And simply put, that's just believing that you can achieve what you want to achieve. And I know that sounds super cliche, but it is 1,000,000% the truth. You have to believe that you're capable of doing what you want to do. Whether you're choosing to be an assistant, a manager, or a CEO, you have to believe that it's possible. If you say, I want to help 10 women this month, and then, in the back of your head, you think that little thought that says, if anyone will join me, or you say, I'm going to earn $500 this month and pay off my car. And then you have that little voice in the back of your head that says, if so-and-so would buy a challenge pack, or, if whatever, like that little doubting voice that pops in the back of your head sometimes. We all have it. It's all there. It will never go away either, by the way, no matter how successful you become. That little voice, that little devil voice, and that will be always in the back of your mind. But you have to be better at quieting it, moving past it anyway, and believing in your ability to do it. So you can't just say that you want it. You have to 100% believe it. You have to tell that little voice to shut up and like do what you need to do. All right. So it's really not caring what other people think and just doing it anyway. And so you have to 1000% believe in yourself. And then the other thing is, that you can say that you want to lose the weight. You can say that you're going to follow the meal plan. You can say that you're going to do the things, but if you don't believe that you're worth it, none of it's going to work. You're going to maybe hit Success Club the first month, and then you start to doubt yourself, and then you won't hit Success Club again. You're going to lose that 10 pounds and then feel like, oh, really maybe shouldn't have done, I don't know, like we all get caught in our own head, and then that's the yo-yo effect, right? So you have to stay consistent with your belief in yourself and keep moving forward. The second thing that happens once you have that belief, and it's going to take time to build that belief. So some of these things are going to be like simultaneously happening here, but the second one is take action. You just have to take action and move forward. A marathon starts with one step. A marathon ends with one step. You just have to keep moving forward in order to make sure you're getting there and showing up consistently for yourself, for your social media, and never miss a day. Like this afternoon, I was listening to lots of personal development. I'm doing lots of things. Our kids have conferences, which is kind of one of the reasons wonky schedules today. And I had kids in my house, but I was still doing meal prep stuff downstairs with headphones in my head, listening to personal development. And I'm going to use a quote from my personal development tonight on my social media. I'm going to talk about, something that I've learned there in my post. Now, if I'm struggling with getting a post up, let's say I didn't do that earlier this afternoon and I have this and then that and then this again, like all the things, I would go to my memories and I would pull up a post that I made last year and I would maybe tweak it, or if it works really well, I could just find a new picture and put that up there. But making sure you're 100% consistent, because if they see you showing up consistently, they know that you will be there for them consistently as well. And so taking action, showing up consistently for yourself, and doing it anyway, even when you don't feel like it. That's that CEO mindset of, even if I don't feel like showing up today, I have to. Even if I don't feel like doing that workout, I have to. And you don't have to say it's all rainbows and sunshines. Be honest with people. Hey, I didn't really feel like doing a workout today, but I know it will make me feel better if I do something anyway. Time is going to pass anyway. I might as well do something to make myself better. Make myself feel better and take action. Okay. So second thing is take action. Third thing is to plug into all of the things. Okay. A connected coach is a successful coach. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. A connected coach is a successful coach. If you are plugged into the National Wake Up Call, if you are plugged into your team calls, if you're plugged into the champs page, if you're plugged into anywhere that you can get mentoring in this business, there's no secret. I can tell you that right now. Wherever you're going to listen to, they're going to tell you the same 4 things. Be a product, do your personal development, do recognition, invite your face off. Okay? There's no secret. Okay? But the more you can find new ways of saying it, something that's going to hit your style of how you talk about it, just listening and just putting those concepts and those thoughts into your head all the time, you're going to find new ways. You're going to find your voice, you're going to find your groove, and you're going to be able to share it better as well. So plug in everywhere and get as much mentoring as you can. But again, remember, don't just be a learner, be an action taker. Do something with that information that you're learning. If you listen to How to Hit Success Club from Melissa McAllister on a YouTube video from 3 years ago, put it into action. Go do something with it. You might find a new way of inviting. You might find something that you never thought of before, a new group of people to go talk to. But really plug into all the things and take action. Also plug into, when you're on a call. I love that you see you guys all writing notes, because when you're on a call listening, you obtain it better when you write it down. But then the also thing is, don't let it die in your notebook. Don't let thoughts and ideas die in your notebook. Do something with them. Back to number 2, right? Okay, number 4, keep the vision. Keep the vision. Show up anyway. Keep the vision alive. I have struggled with a little bit of goals versus vision. And a goal is something that is smart. Think of the SMART goals, like it's timely, it's achievable, it's this certain thing, right? And a lot of times people that hit a goal will kind of like hit that like burnout spot of like, okay, I've achieved it, now what? What's beyond the goal? That's called your vision. If you are thinking of, I have to get to elite, I have to get to 2-star, I have to get to diamond, whatever your goal point is, when you've arrived at that destination, you're going to stop at that destination. You have to think about what's beyond that. What is the grander vision for what you want to do in this business, what you want to do in your life, what you want to achieve? And then when you achieve that, then what's the bigger vision beyond that? What else can you then go do or achieve or be or have or experience, right? So like I was thinking about this the other day too, is like when you punch in the address on your GPS and all of a sudden they get to like, you have arrived, right? And if you miss the driveway or you don't turn in right away and you go around the block, she redirects you back to that spot. So I don't know about you, but mine's a girl, but like she's not English either. But anyway, so she always takes me to that same spot. Well, that's kind of thing, if that's what a goal is like, you're always going to get directed back to that same spot and be stuck in that point. But we all know that if you're going to keep going, you have to keep moving. You can't stay in the same spot. You can't stay in your comfort zone. You have to keep moving on. So that's what vision looks like. And so knowing what, and then acting as if you are already doing that. How would that 5-star coach respond to this email? How would that 5-star coach do with GSR today? How would that 5-star coach show up in my workout? What would a 15-star coach say to a coach who's asking her, where the team call link is? How would you XYZ? Right? And so you have to decide what that vision is going to look like for you, and then act as if, and then show up as if that person is you, and how would you respond to that situation? How would you do those things if that was you already? Okay. So keep the vision as number 4. And the last one is number 5 is, how are you going to think about how you're going to create that CEO life? What is it that you want to achieve? Thinking about how you're going to take action and putting them all basically together here. Okay. What does that CEO life look like for you? And then what are the small steps that you can break down to make it happen? So when you see yourself as that person or that who you want to be, what are the small chunks along the way that are going to help you get there? So when I was drowning and needing like 30 points last year on the last day, my friend Chelsea broke it down for me and said, you just need 5 in here, 6 in here, 5 in here, and we're going to make it happen. Who are your people that could contribute to this? Who are your people that could contribute to that? And then we'd made a smaller action plan to go get it. You're not going to eat the elephant all at once. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be a 5-star diamond, but you will be able to do that eventually if you're inviting every day, if you're consistent all the time, if you believe in what's possible, you have a grander vision for yourself, and you just keep showing up. Okay? So that's what it takes. You just have to show up every day, take action, and believe in what you're going to do. Any questions? I talked really fast.
Oh, okay. First of all, I'm sorry, Kim. That's all it takes. There's not some like in your notebook that you didn't mention that everyone's been holding out on.
There's nothing else. In fact, it was really kind of funny that Kim Carver did a session at Leadership, and it was called The Secret. And maybe it was Kim Carver, but it was Doug Moss. It was called The Secret, and he asked, like, he pinpointed like certain people out in the stage, in the audience, whatever. And Melissa McAllister was like, he was asking them, what did you come to leadership for? What did you come to leadership for? And they were like, I don't know, like they'd give her things. And then Melissa was like, I want the secrets. And he was like, there are no secrets. And then he kind of went through his thing, like, not the things that I shared. These are the things that I believe are the things that got me where I'm going. But he was just like, there are no secrets. You just have to show up and do the things and believe that what you're doing is possible. So it's just taking action and getting rid of the fear.
Yeah. Guys, type out questions in the chat while I'm kind of going through some of the things that just gave me life. First of all, while you're typing those questions, you have to know that Kim was on the Success Club cruise this last year with myself and my husband, Charlie, and she was able to bring her husband, and this was the first time, am I correct in saying this? The first time that she was ever able to bring her kids on a Success Club trip. And I will not forget the look in her daughter's eyes, like boarding that ship, you guys, and eating ice cream literally all day, every day. Charlie's over here cheering. Ice cream's a big hit on the trip. But you guys, like, I could cry. Like, I'm getting choked up just thinking about that moment. And I don't know Kim's kids very well, but I know the impact just by seeing the expression on their faces and seeing the expression also on a mother and a father that come from Iowa, from small Townsville, who never in their wildest dreams would have ever been able to take their children out of school in the middle of the school year, plus on a cruise ship. And they did, and that's the blessing of this business. And so when she says, like, you can do anything, like, I don't want you to take that lightly, right? I don't want that to just go in one ear and out the other. Kim is such a striking example of just a regular, normal person freaking going for it and crafting that vision into reality. I wanted to tell that story because I remember that while you were talking. I'm not seeing.
It was the first time that they'd flown. It was the first time that they'd really the first time they've been like out of the country. We had to get passports. Like, it was like a fun thing that we just like kept on our board all year long that we were working towards. And that was one of the things that I was fighting so hard for at the end of the year, because elite coaches got to be in the front of the line and got to be, didn't have to wait in the long lines of all the people trying to get on the boat. Like, I remember Darla Henney saying that she was like, I'm pushing for elite so we can be in the front of the line. And so then I told my kids that. And so they knew that we would be able to, that's not even a big deal. Like, we all get on the boat, right? Like, it was just so fun. And just getting them to be able to meet all the people that they hear about all the time was just so fun, and getting to see their faces and all the fun stuff.
Yes, you guys, and to be able, there's power. I know not everybody on this call is necessarily in the season of life that Kim is in, where she has kids that she can give an example to. But you're an example. When she said that she chose her goals over a New Year's Eve party, I wrote down, would you? And I question you all on that too. Would you choose your goals this month? Y'all made some big, hefty goals, and you still have today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Come Thursday, if you haven't hit that goal on Halloween night, are you still going to be there till the stroke of midnight? Would you? And there's an example that she's setting with her family. But stronger than that, you guys, is the example she gave her team. And there's people on our team watching you, especially as the leaders this month. Kim, we're doing a thing called October Team Challenge. And so a lot of the coaches on here are part of that. And part of their point system is getting on trainings like this. But your team is watching you. All the coaches that chose not to be a part of the team challenge this month are looking to you to see, are they really going to do what they said they were going to do at the top of the month? And so, yeah, you're setting, even if you don't think you're setting, nobody in my family cares, or my friends don't care, or my kids don't care. They do. You're setting an example for how other people will treat you and regard this business. Kristen has a question. Says, it seems like there are so many ways to stay connected besides just team trainings and National Wake Up Call, like regional Facebook groups and such. Are there ones that you gravitate towards? What are your favorite ways to stay connected?
Well, for me, I'm really blessed with having our team calls set up the way they are. Like, my Monday night calls my team call will happen at 8 o'clock. Julianne's team call happens on Tuesdays. And so I'm always plugged into those as well. Trina does a Q&A on Thursday morning for her personally sponsored downline and get into on there. And then on Friday morning as well. And then Wednesday mornings are our diamond call for our upline. I help manage that group. And so I'm on every single Wednesday facilitating whoever the speaker is going to be for that, and just learn there. So I would say plug into where you're being fed. And so if Brittany has options for you, if you've got things like that, get into all of those. If you don't have something, lead it, learn something, and then share. I've really encouraged my team that if they're not a part of those other things yet, because they will be, is that when they learn something in their personal development, or they go to a regional page, or they find some sort of resource someplace, go live in the team page and create your own kind of learning opportunity there. And that's just sharing the wealth of everyone. But yeah, anytime YouTube is huge. If you can find everything on YouTube. And then a little pro tip that I learned from Julianne is that once you've watched it, you hit like, and so that you know that if you're searching for like how to hit Success Club, like, and the first 10 of them come up already, you've already watched these 10, I'm going to watch the next one. Another thing that I like to do is find a top coach that I really resonate with, that I kind of speaks my language. I can be a part of that, and then follow their YouTube channel. And then anytime they upload a team call, now you have access to it too. So I try to follow the Fitzpatricks. I love Melanie's, Christina Delgado for a long time I was following. But like and then I just have more direct access to Trina now, and so I just usually plug into her. But yeah, find other people in the network. So if you ever get to a new leadership conference, or if you ever if you're in those regional pages and you find something that you click with, like become friends, like interact with each other, and then you can work with each other on that too. What's your favorite PD right now? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm a PD junkie, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I also listen to audiobooks. I'm a teacher. I've never really gotten very good at sitting down with a book. It's hard for me to sit down with a book. So I listen to a lot. But the book that I'm listening to right now, I've just recently finished, called Limitless, with Laura Otting. She's actually going to be at our Diamond Retreat coming up here this next weekend. And so that's really fun. That's why I wanted to listen to her first. But Limitless, How to Ignore Everybody Else and Achieve Your Dreams by Laura Gassner Otting. Everything is Figure Outable. I just finished that one last week by Marie Forleo. You're Not Lost by Maxie McCoy was a really good one as well. We did a team book club on that, and then we had Maxie on our team call last week. She loves connecting with people and just talking about the book with us, so that was fun. But the book I'm listening to right now is a little more personal, but it's called Finding God's Life for My Will, and it's by Mike Donahue from 10th Avenue North. And so that's been really good. It's about leadership and like finding your own leadership in life. So Finding God's Life for My Will is what I'm listening to right now, books. Podcast wise, one that I've really been touching base with a lot is the Todd Durkin Impact Show. I love Craig Groeschel and his leadership podcast. John Maxwell obviously is so good all the time. I do listen to Melanie Mitchell every once in a while, but not consistently. I do like Build Your Tribe with Shailene Johnson every once in a while. She's got some good marketing things in there that I just use little tidbits from. And then Online Marketing Made Easy with Amy Porterfield has been really good too. So I would put a plug in for Rewritten and for my show as well. It's called Choose to Rise. If you so choose. But yeah,
no, seriously, shameless plug. You guys, she has a podcast. You guys have a freaking big deal of a person on right now. It's the podcast. Yes, it's called Choose to Rise. Yes, Kim?
Yes, Choose to Rise is what my podcast is called. Yeah.
So that's Kim's personal one. And what are your topics on that podcast?
It's a gamut of things. It's mostly positive living, confidence boosts, living life to your best, choosing to rise up out of your current situation to live your best life. So today was all about believing in yourself. Next tomorrow or Wednesdays is actually going to be called Embracing Silence, and really kind of how that's a good thing, and then just like collecting your thoughts and being a part of that. And then the one I did last Friday was called Fuel Your Life. So I really just talked about clean eating, trying to wrap some coaching concepts into it a little bit as well. And if they're really connecting with me on that, then that would connect with me and on my team too. But yeah.
All right, guys, any last questions for Kim?
Sorry.
Kim, thank you. I have so much like taken away from you. I love it. I love getting, I've been so filled up this month with all our guest speakers, and you've included. Such a blessing that you said yes to our team. I so appreciate it.
Well, of course I would say yes to you. You are amazing as well. So we may have to return the favor somehow. All right, let's take a picture. You guys want to do a boomerang for me quick on my Instagram? I talked about you before I started.
Heather and Andrew, if you can turn your cameras on, that'd be awesome.
All right. Maybe we'll wave or do something fun. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay.
Hey, and then I'll take a still shot real quick of all of us. Remember, you guys, it's 3, 2, 1, and then pictures taken. So hold your smiles longer than you think you need to. I'm not saying this for Katie, kind of. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay! All right. Thank you, Katie, so much for your time tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Stay on. I'm gonna share with you guys some
Yeah,
updates.
like the amazing leadership takeaways are so good. Like you guys are want to take advantage of all of them. Just saying. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, Charlie.
Bye. Okay, guys, let me share my screen and give you real quick headlines, and then we'll be done. Okay, October Team Challenge. You guys, I'm seeing Amanda's face light up. Someone's in the lead. Someone stole the lead. I planned that dance. No, I didn't. It is a tight race. Let's just be real quick. Anybody on the Real Witches of Beachbody that doesn't have a summit ticket, that could literally be the game changer for your team, number one. And same thing for Bad Witches and Pumpkin Spice Girls. Guys, we've got whatever you finish off the day doing today, you've got tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Thursday through the end of the day. By Friday morning, you're sending in your final numbers for counting. So make sure that you make the most of this week. Katie hosted her very first power hour, and it looks like she survived it. She's alive. No, yeah, it's good, guys. You're going to be okay. So try things that maybe all month long you were like, I never tried that. I was just too fearful. Rip the Band-Aid. Give it a try. I promise you, you're going to be here next week still alive. It's going to be okay. Speaking of, you guys, there's been such power in having so many faces on these Zooms all month. And I know you guys like getting on these because you hear from other coaches. And sometimes I can become like Charlie Brown's teacher and be like the wah, wah, wah. And I get that. And that's why I took a whole month to say, I want other people to like take the mic and allow you guys a chance to hear maybe the same thing that I've said, but in a different way. But I don't want to get on next Monday and all of a sudden our count be down. All I want to see is it grow from here. And just like Kim said, a connected coach is a successful coach. Don't allow this challenge stopping on Thursday to be your reason to not have to get on these anymore, right? Like I've loved getting to share this time with you, but it'll break my freaking heart if all of a sudden next week nobody's on anymore. Just throwing that out there. Okay, let's get some things in the loop, you guys. Number one, I want to start with this. In the chat, can you comment where you're going to Super Weekend next weekend, this upcoming weekend? If you're attending a Super Weekend this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I want you to comment where you're attending it. And you guys, events. So this kind of piggybacks off of what she just said with a connected coach is a successful coach. This is awesome. I love getting on Monday night calls. I love seeing you guys get lit up on these calls. I love seeing you come to the team page afterwards and just sharing what spoke to you. I love when you listen to the replays of them and grab more nuggets from it. I love when you share about it on your stories, and I know it lights you up. But I also know that there is no match for the energy of when you're face-to-face. There's just no match. And I promise you, one mistake I made as a new coach was I took far too long to go to live events. Now, I went to Summit right away. Like, I knew I had to go to Summit. But when it came to Super Saturday, I was chicken, you guys. I lived in Miami, and I just wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go. And it took me far too long to decide that that was something I needed to start doing and prioritizing. And I am now better because of it. I'm more enriched because of it. And I've met people in my life, you guys. My best friend in the whole wide stinking world, I met at a Super Saturday. There's so much power in that, you guys. So if you're not going to Super Weekend, Super Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whatever it is, whatever day it is, like the question is why? Like, why don't you get to live events, you guys? Go for it. Don't be chicken like I was. Learn from my mistakes as a newer coach and get there. Okay, that's not on this, but I wanted to mention that. I, by the way, will be at the Dallas Super Saturday, and I will be wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and riding it on my horse. Okay, just kidding. I wish, probably. Actually, I probably should. I'd fit in. Plant-based beach bars. No, let's start with this one. Limited edition peppermint mocha Shako. If you have been under a rock, then you don't know about this. But if you've been on our team page, you've been seeing my countdown. You guys, I'm doing this countdown methodically. There's a reason that I am in your face like a billboard every day. Number one, it starts with us, and I want all of us to be on board for that launch. But number two, I know the impact that this can make on your personal team cycle volume if you're an Emerald coach or higher, if you get your coaches on board with this. So it's like monkey see, monkey do, right? When you see Brittany do something, do it as well. This is a business of duplication. So if you see me like really leveraging something and really harping it, chances are, if you have a downline and coaches you can be reaching out to, this should be something you're harping on with them. This is an awesome opportunity for you to help coaches go active who have not been active and potentially get your ranks back or whatever it is you need to do, right? Okay, plant-based beach bars are coming on December 3rd. These ones are chocolate almond crunch flavor, and I hear that they're very delicious. Both of these were sampled at Leadership, and so I put them on here because they're coming very, very soon, and so I want to make sure you have that on your calendar so that you know that that's coming. These beach bars, you guys, will be in boxes, cases of 1, 2, or 3, just like you can buy our other beach bar flavors, and it'll be the same, you know, same price and same amount of beach bars in the box. Cool. Coach Summit, guys, that discount is going. It's $155 only. I'm so pumped. Special shout out to Katie, to Kara, to Heather, who all like went all in, ripped the Band-Aid. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. In the meantime, 3 people since the promo started on Friday have said yes. It's going to be a blast. If you're worried about anything, I promise that someone who's been to Summit before has an answer to that. So if you're worried about where am I going to stay, or how am I going to get there, or what do we do, or what's it like, ask. Go to your team and connect and ask questions, right? Because we are your best resource to tell you that you're going to be safe, you're going to be in good hands. Okay, program-wise, really exciting. First, let me talk about the Mindset membership and the monthly fix. So they're taking 2B Mindset and they're taking Ultimate Portion Fix starting in January, on January 3rd. And you'll have 24/7 access to this like exclusive community with check-ins from the trainers. So if you're in the Mindset membership, you'll have Alana. If you're in the monthly fix, you'll have Autumn Calabrese, and it's like, it's almost as if I can only compare it to like Weight Watchers, where Weight Watchers, it's a monthly membership fee to join Weight Watchers, and then you'd be connected to like a Weight Watchers professional that would give you recipes that month and give you support. And so it's the exact same concept. So every month you'll have new recipes, new strategies, tactics that help you and help your customers with nutrition. So if you have people that are like, I'm really, really struggling with nutrition, get them on board with 2B Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, whichever one speaks more to where they are and how they work with nutrition. And then get them on board with being a part of that, with the membership that's a monthly membership. This means, you guys, if you did get the master training for, I know a lot of people got the Ultimate Portion Fix master training. If you did that, they're getting rid of that. So this is kind of taking the place of the master training, and it's becoming a, it's even playing field across the board. So not just the coaches are getting monthly information, but everyone, our customers have access to it too now. Bar Blend is coming. It's going to be live in Beachbody On Demand on January 13th is when the VIP early access window will begin. But just like last year with Transform 20, it's available for purchase starting in December. Okay, so the trainer is Elise. She is from 3-Week Yoga Retreat. It's a 60-day fusion of ballet, Pilates, cardio, interval training. Okay, it's a beginner to an intermediate program. The coach window for purchasing will begin on December 3rd, and our customer window will open on December 16th. Okay, so just keep in mind, coaches can begin purchasing on 12/3. Customers can begin purchasing on 12/16, and then it goes live in BOD on January 13th. Customers will not, and coaches, if you don't purchase it for VIP early access, it will not be in your Beachbody On Demand library until June 1st. Okay, so there's a pretty long window before it'll be available there. 4 weeks of the prep. So they heard us, 6 weeks of the work is a very intense program. Most people are not going to be ready to do this program right off the bat. So what they did is they created 4 weeks of the prep. 4 weeks of the prep is an intermediate preparation for 6 weeks of the work. It's 11 workouts that are repeated over the course of 4 weeks, and there's a modifier as a part of it. And it's only available in BOD if you purchase 6 weeks of the work. So if you've already purchased 6 weeks of the work, starting on January 3rd, you will see this go into your Beachbody library, your BOD library. If you haven't purchased 6 weeks of the work, you have until January 3rd if you're going to plan on doing it, and then 4 weeks of the prep will be added to your BOD library. Okay, so that's stuff that we kind of, for the most part, pretty much know, but there is a new program coming in March of 2020, and it is from your favorite trainer, Joel Freeman. It's called 10 Rounds. It is a high-intensity boxing program, and it's not like Core de Force, because Core de Force is more mixed martial arts. This is straight-up boxing. So if you have people who just love that studio boutique fitness style, and they love going to boxing classes, like I have a girlfriend that she loves boxing classes. Like, that's her thing. This is for them. And one of the things Beachbody is really catering to in our BOD library, if you haven't noticed, is these very specific niche types of fitness. Okay? So this might not be, and this is kind of going to take me to my last point, is that not everything we get is for everyone. And our job as a coach is, and Carl talked about on the National Wake Up Call this morning, but our job as a coach is to help people. It's not to sell them something. So I don't need to sell only bar blend to people. What I need to do is I need to invite somebody into my sisterhood. And from there, I figure out what their goals are. I figure out what's the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and how can I help fill that gap, and what program would do that best, and what program caters to them in their season of life best. So just understand that just because Morning Meltdown 100 came out, and then all of a sudden, wait a second, I'm still doing Morning Meltdown. How do I start 6 weeks of the work? And then, oh my gosh, 6 weeks of the work, but Bar Blend's coming out. And then like all these things. And sometimes I think we can get so caught up in a program specific that we don't understand that we just have a big freaking toolbox that Beachbody just keeps filling with more tools. So I want to share with you guys my personal fitness calendar from now through the top of 2020. And it might not be the fitness calendar you're doing, and it might not be what you even thought a fitness calendar could look like, but I want you to know that this is what I'm choosing to do for my body, and I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to finish Morning Meltdown here this week on October 31st. You're going to notice that I have a little gap between the finish of Morning Meltdown and the start of my next program. And that's partly because we have our leadership retreat happening here this weekend. So I'm going to be working out with them. Plus at Super Sunday, we'll be working out. And then next week, I'm going to be easy on my body because my body needs a little bit of a break. That's one of the biggest blessings about becoming a coach is I've learned how to listen to my body and listen for those cues when it's like, Brittany, you've been working really hard. Like you've kind of been like overdoing it. Maybe we could take it a step back and just like do a little yoga or something. And so my body's screaming for that right now. And so I'm taking a little break. I'll move my body, but I'm not following a program, and I'm definitely not doing anything high intense, but I'm finishing the year the way I started it. This has been on my heart. How do I finish 2019? I want to finish how I started it. I started this with Transform 20, and I want Shaun T to freaking take me to the end of the year. So 6 weeks between 11/11 and pretty much right before Christmas. So for those 6 weeks, I'm going to do Transform 20. I'll finish it right before the Christmas break. And then again, I will take another week and a half right there to just enjoy the holidays, number one. But to also maybe do some yoga, maybe go do some group fitness classes, get out of my like routine, right? And then coming right back on January 6th, I'm going to begin 4 weeks of the prep. That'll take me to February 3rd, where I'll begin 6 weeks of the work. I'll finish 6 weeks of the work on 3/15. And then after that is the Success Club trip. I know I'll be working out with live super trainers during that trip. And then that way I kind of have like a little break in there for that vacation. And coming back in strong, I'm going to start whatever my next program is on March 30th. Now, at first I wrote that I'm going to start Bar Blend on March 30th, and I deleted that because I don't know. I truly at this moment don't know if my body is going to want to do Bar Blend by that point after I finish 6 weeks of the work and all that stuff. or if my body's going to be excited for 10 rounds, because I have the option to do both at that point, or I have the option to do any other wealth of resources we have. So this is where my calendar is, but I highly suggest for all of you guys, and I'm going to just stop sharing and kind of wrap up. I highly, highly, highly suggest you guys that you take a minute, number one, to sit down with your calendar for the rest of the year. Look at this, you guys. This is what we've already done. Like, this is all that's left. Like, there's not a lot left. But sit down with your calendar for what does remain and figure out, first of all, it starts with you. What program are you following? What's that going to look like for you, right? Number one, figure that out. Take yourself into the new year a little bit so that you already know what you're marketing in December. What are you talking to people about? I spoke with Amanda earlier today that one of the times in our businesses we both felt like we were really strong is when we had a very solid idea of what group was starting next and when, right? Or what program I'm doing and when, and then I can lead my invites in that proper direction. So it starts with figuring out what your calendar is going to look like. So I highly suggest you taking a second and doing that. Also, as you start doing that, you're going to start to realize you might need to start looking for a planner for 2020, right? Like I already realized today, oh my gosh, like there's things I wanted to write down and I can't because I don't have January in my planner. So those are things like as we get towards the end of the year and we're shifting now into November, start thinking like dreaming bigger into the end of the year. And we're going to be talking about that in November, December especially, but just a heads up, like start looking for a planner. Dallas Super Saturday, Dallas Super Saturday, Dallas. Look at all these people cramping my horse riding style. Cincinnati. Yes, being so nervous, but got me pumped up and seeing community in person. There's no worries. What time is launch for Peppermint Mocha? It should be, usually launches are at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, that's the best I know at this point. Love it. All right, ladies, let me